12 years ago, I introduced the first bill to legalize the status of young people brought to this country by their parents, the Immigrant Children's Educational Advantage and Dropout Prevention Act, 2001. Since I introduced that first bill, the movement for legal immigration, for immigration reform, and for legalization has grown broader and deeper. In every community today, there are young people, religious people, women, business owners, immigrant moms and dads, and regular civic-minded U.S. citizens organizing to make sure we pass immigration reform this year in the U.S. Congress. Over the August recess, members of this committee and members of the House of Representatives will see firsthand that the desire for reform is real and present in their communities across this nation. We have recently heard the Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader and a wide array of Republican voices say they are for legalizing the status of children under certain circumstances, including a pathway to citizenship. Wow. Dreamers and others who support immigration reform must be pretty darn persuasive. After all, look how far we've come in such a short time. Just 8 months ago, the Republican Party platform said deport them all, veto the DREAM Act, and make every state pass Arizona SB 1070. Just a month ago, all but 6 of the Republicans in the House voted to kill the funding for the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. 3 weeks ago, every single Republican on this panel voted to make every undocumented young person a criminal. But I'm not here to chastise you. Rather, I'm here to say thank you for taking a step in the right direction of justice today. Now, let us find a way to walk forward together tomorrow. Those of us who have sat at the immigration reform table for many, many lonely years are glad you are stepping up and engaging in a conversation with us. We need you. Without you, we cannot achieve success. If the Republican majority is starting with the Dreamers because that is as far as you are willing to go in terms of legal status for undocumented immigrants, I say thank you for coming this far. Because even a small step in the right direction is the first step in any good faith negotiation. It says compromise may indeed be within reach. But let me be absolutely crystal clear and unequivocal. Legalizing only the Dreamers is not enough. It would not be enough given the years and decades of hard work and equities that millions of immigrants have built in this country. It would not be enough to satisfy the intense hunger for legality in the immigrant community, the desire to pledge allegiance to this country, the pride with which so many want someday to say, I'm an American citizen. And it's not enough to restore the rule of law and truly fix our broken immigration system. I've met with Dreamers and with their moms and dads, and I want the same thing for their kids that I want for my 2 wonderful daughters. I want an indivisible family. I cannot imagine for 1 minute that Republicans, who I know also honor the sanctity of families, want to legalize the children, but leave the rest of the family vulnerable to our broken immigration system. After the election, I traveled to Missouri to meet with United We Dream and other DREAM activists and leaders. I was told in no uncertain terms that they would not leave their parents behind. I will let them speak for themselves because they are well and fully capable of doing so. But let me tell you what I saw. I saw a maturity and a level of confidence that I think any politician would be a fool not to consider. They will not settle for what is good for them unless they can also win what is good for their families. And you know what? You know why? Because their parents instill values in them. Good and decent kids are raised by good and decent parents. If we honor the children for being upstanding and, quote, the kind of immigrants we like, then we must honor the parents who helped raise them to be upstanding. I suspect, no, Chairman Gowdy, I know that there is more to come. This hearing and the legislation we understand is being prepared by the majority. I fully believe it's just the first step. I am optimistic that once you take one step toward justice, you will take a second and a third and as many steps as it takes until the thirst is extinguished. I want all of us to walk there together. Once you see that standing up for young and talented immigrants feels good and right, you will want to stand up also for their parents who raised and nurtured them. The dreamers will remember, the nation will remember forever how this Congress and this country treated their parents. We've come such a long way, and we need to work together to keep America moving forward. Mr. Chairman, I would like to, yes, unanimous consent, that the op-ed written by my colleague, Congressman Mike Kaufman, titled "The Time for Immigration Reform is Now." It was published this past Sunday in the Denver Post, be submitted for the record. I've traveled to a lot of places, but the op-ed in the paper that welcomed me on Sunday morning in Denver when I arrived this past Sunday is one of the best acts of welcoming I've ever received. And I'd like that to be introduced into the record.
Without objection.
And Mr. Chairman, I would like to be introduced into the record, consent to submit an editorial from the Bakersfield Californian, the hometown newspaper of Congressman David Valadao, with whom I shared a stage this past Saturday in Bakersfield, in his district. In this editorial, it praises him for his willingness to compromise and engage members on both sides of the aisle on the immigration issue. I ask that also be included in the record.
Without objection.